Resume by Emma Curtis Hopkins. Practice book for the 12 lessons in high mysticism. Chapter 10, Ministry. This is Thursday's afternoon lesson. Commit these Bible verses to memory. The 10th shall be holy to the Lord. And the people blessed all the men that willingly offered themselves to dwell in Jerusalem. And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the jubilee to sound on the 10th day. I will put my law in their inward parts. They said unto him, Master, where dwellest thou? He said unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. I and you. Go stand and speak to the people in the temple. Chapter 10, Ministry. The 10th stone of character is the chrysoprasus. This signifies that no situation daunts us. The people came up out of the raging waters of Jordan on the 10th day. But they had not noticed the raging waters. Their vision was so glued to liberty. To them, the water had parted. When we mean to heal our neighbor, we sometimes find that his whole secret mind opposes the healing truth we so ardently tell him. His mind and body get excited with pain or sickness. All his old diseases show forth. Dysentery, influenza, fever, rheumatism disturb him. He is irritable, confused, weepy. To be fazed by such a showing forth is to prove that we have not come to the 10th stone of character. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small, said Solomon. To stand on our stone of confidence, assurance, certainty, with respect to a man who is very sick, is to reach the everlasting health which shines like a sun back of his sickness. That sun with its healing beams can brush aside his sickness, as the sun in the skies brushes aside the clouds. The clouds may hurry and scurry and glow darkly, but they have nothing to do with altering the sun. The sun is the same it was before the clouds gathered. When the sun of health back of sickness is once seen, the sickness is not recognized. It is a great day when nothing moves us, either pain or disease or crying, because we are sighting the reality of peace. It brings forth a happy neighbor. He feels the apple green of a new base. He suddenly shines forth, saying, I see that my life is God, to whom I am looking for life. After years of looking upward to God as his sovereign, a man passing through many vicissitudes was suddenly set into prosperity beyond his expectations. This gave him great leverage with his neighbors, and his doctrine that God reigns was hastened to. He was not looking for money. He was looking for the great fiat, look unto me. And the divine providence, the countenance that shineth, was his goal. But the effect was a dominant relationship with his fellow man. The adversities that shrouded his path had been the opposing activities that would have shrouded through his whole lifetime, had not his high statement and his high watch held out to the end, finally parting the waters of his Jordan. To yield to doubt and fear because conditions are gloomy is not to hold out to the end of the clouds. Some people let go of God and the great truth that they started forth with, so they never see their victory in this lifetime. It is pretty certain they will have to try again somewhere, but how much better to settle the question of the high watch and the truth of the soul right here and now. Our neighbor is free spirit. No pain, no disease can be added to the free spirit or taken from it. Our neighbor is not flesh and blood, quaking and crying. We touch him as the angel of God's presence. We speak to him as omnipotent soul. This is truth, whether he shows it outwardly today or not. If he does not show it outwardly, but instead he complains and has more trouble than ever, the truth is true, all the same. Mine integrity within me, said David. Job's wife asked him if he still held to his integrity while he was still in his misery. At our interior God point, we see as God sees and know as God knows. In the midst of affliction, we must speak forth this secret knowing and seeing. It is the heavenly fact told us in secret to be proclaimed upon the housetops. Whenever anyone to whom we have whispered the praises of soul begins to act quite wretched in his body, let us look to our temple place, our sanctuary within, where we know as God and see as God. Let us look to the rock whence we are hewn. Let us read from the law as it is in our inward parts. We will take Thursday to regard our neighbor as within, at our hidden meeting place with God. Also, on Thursday, we will speak to the one that we love best, at our meeting place with God. In mine integrity within me, where I see as God and know as God, I know you, John Child, as free spirit. I know you as alive with life that death cannot touch. I know you as strong with omnipotence, whole and complete as Son of God, wise to know yourself as unhurt by matter or mind. Show yourself to all the world as I know you at my integrity point. Acknowledge with boldness and confidence that you are free, strong, glad spirit, without pain or disease. This is a good treatment to give concerning one who has had an accident or who has been taken suddenly ill. It takes him past the chemical change or Jordan River he is passing through. There was an angel near Daniel when he fainted and was sick certain days. There is an angel always standing near one in trouble. Let us agree with the angel and see health and strength made visible by our firm, secret insistence. He hath put wisdom in the inward parts. There is no healing that we can trust like the healing that comes from recognizing from our own unshakable center just how it is forever with our neighbor. Go stand and speak to the people in the temple, said the angel to the apostles. Ye are the temple, I in you. This practice disciplines for new and impromptu treatments suggested by previous experiences. Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. End of chapter 10. And in synopsis of chapter 10, again, we are being urged to see the God spark in our neighbor or in our fellow man or fellow woman. It is a correlation to chapter 4, which is Thursday's morning study on faith. So, as with all of the Emma chapters, we know that the second half of the book is all about ministry. So, what we know for ourselves, now we have to know for other people. Emma is urging us not to faint in the day of adversity, meaning, if we're treating for someone and all of a sudden they're in resistance to the treatment, they're going to deny they're good. A lot of people will just automatically rebel against the idea of good. They're very addicted to their dramas and their suffering. For whatever reason, people really cling tightly, and they love to argue for their limitation. So what usually happens is when you're treating for someone, all of a sudden all of their conditions are going to flare up and like just be bolder than ever. So this is when you can't faint in the day of adversity. You can't just give up on them because their conditions seem to be so bad. This is when you have to hold firm and insist on seeing their God center, knowing that their health is God, their life is God, that they are perfect spirit, and you just pay no attention whatsoever to the conditions. Because if you're shaken by their conditions, then you're not going to be able to hold consciousness for them and see them through to the other side of this. So this is when we're really having to stand in our faith, just like we had to have faith in our own good and our own God spirit. Now we have to have faith in the God spirit of our neighbor or whoever we're treating for. And it should be just as easy to have faith in their God spark as it is to have faith in our own God spark, because it's the same God spark in everyone else. They're not different than us. So this is where we're really being called to see past condition. We cannot judge according to appearances. And this is usually the point where the condition is going to flare up worse than ever. It's going to make its final, big scene and really try and prove itself to be real. But like we know about all sickness or disease or anything like that, it's just nothing pretending to be something, and we can't be fooled by it.